Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
I should have seen that one coming.
Radiant team ban. Dire team pick.
Welcome back, everybody,
Radiant
here.
team
Whoop, that's
pick.
the wrong one. Welcome back, everybody, here to our ESL One coverage. It is the European Qualifier, our last series for the round of 16 before we get ourselves into the quarterfinals, which will be happening very, very soon. Peeled on joindota.com is actually probably the best place you can track all that information from. Into the game we go. Stark, GG, losing game 1 against HellRaisers. The stand-ins for MB after
remaining.
MB. I don't know what's going on there, Cam. People can flag out the little thing of disband, but it's still a question mark of what's going on with those guys. But they pulled themselves out of this competition of ESL One, and they will be back. I don't know when, if any, under what brand. Hi, welcome back, Keen. Welcome back.
Sorry.
You hit the perfect time, man. You hit the
Dire
perfect time
team
to arrive.
Fast, the fast game, huh?
Yeah, these guys didn't want to muck around. HellRaisers were just like, we're good to go. We're great. And Stark was, they were in the lobby like almost instantly after too.
Yeah, especially like on the losing side. The losing side tends to be more eager to play the second game because they're either mad or they're definitely not happy with the showing they had because their teamwork started falling off mid-game after the Roche, especially. It's a mental game, at least a large portion of it. So clean slate. I mean, they're down 1, but just take it like you have to win 2 games, like a best of 2, I suppose. And
I'm interested to see how well they're able to deal with this HellRaisers lineup. This is actually something I was talking to Mobpacks about previously, where we saw the safe lane Nature's Prophets starting to appear more and more. It came after we then saw the Iron Talon Nature's Prophet, and then some of the offlane Nature's Prophet. This guy is just basically anywhere and everywhere, and you're involved in the fights from like the second minute.
Yeah,
it's so hard to deal with him.
I'm personally a big fan of non-offlane Nature's Prophet. I think VG Gaming from China was one of the teams that used to use a lot of Nature's Prophet on one position on Sylar. And after Sylar left, FY played some Nature's Prophet here and there, like the forward position, super greedy Nature's Prophet, and it Nature's Prophet is Nature's Prophet. It's gonna, despite being played as a 4, it's gonna be top 3 in the net worth charts, and played properly, it's gonna, like, a lot of people would say Wisp Tiny with that global factor can counter the Nature's Prophet pretty well, but a smartly played Nature's Prophet can, counter the global factor from IO Tiny as well.
One of these things where, like as I was looking at EG's replays for it,
Radiant team
and initially I looked at it and said, like, because Arteezy was playing it, I'm like, okay, what has this hero really done? Like, he picks up an Orca, but by the time he had that, there really wasn't that much influence he had on the map. And I had to go back and watch the replay again. And then I realized that it wasn't even the fact of, like, saying, oh, he's got a big item which gives you this level of control. It's the fact that he's always there. Like, you're always TPing and you're always making nutrients which are able to block. Your sprout duration is so damn long that it's such a great control factor. And then you add a big magical nuke when you hit level 6 as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, it's one of these heroes which I severely underestimated just how much influence he has on the game to impact all the lanes to enable everyone else really big. And then when he disappears, like heroes like Dazzle or Witch Doctor now can just take your safe lane and take all of the experience and get up to their big items too, while you continue to take out tier 1 towers. So you fight, take a tower, you fight, you take another tower. It's I've become a lot bigger fan of Nature's Prophet after I kind of like hashed it out, like how well it works.
I think everyone is kind of used to the trashy pub Nature's Prophet that just doesn't really participate at all, or just goes dagon and goes for those quick zaps.
Yeah.
But
I'll see you in 20 minutes. Currently, I'm farming up our jungle. But can't you TP to help us? Nope.
But like a properly played Nature's Prophet is very scary, and one thing I'd like to emphasize is the fact that Nature's Prophet is not just about that player, it's about the team's ability to make full use of the global factor from Nature's Prophet. Some teams are just gonna play as if the Nature's Prophet is a normal hero, but like teams like Alliance, for example, big fans of Nature's Prophet for a long time. I've seen a lot of games from them where it looks like they have like really poor team fight, but well coordinated Wrath of Nature and nicely timed like teleports completely it just blows your mind about what this hero is capable of doing if you have the right coordination to back it up. And I mean, going back to the draft, we see the HellRaisers picked up the Ember Spirit. I'd say it's a pretty good hero to pair with the Nature's Prophet. Just early mid-game aggression. It's not like this hero falls off late game, making it actually super scary. And a Beastmaster for Stark, I suppose, is pretty intuitive. The vision is going to pressure Nature's Prophet or anyone who wants to stay in the jungle, and nice setup for the Wisp Tiny.
Interested to see though, like how they couple this. Like my instant reaction, which I know is going to be the wrong one, is a Tinker for Stark.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh boy!
I'm just thinking like how they function with this. Like you gotta have a Beastmaster for a reason. Like the catch out of Nature's Prophet, if you get a Blink Dagger and Necro Books on the Beastmaster, then yeah, I can completely understand that. But right now, like HellRaisers have enough where they can fight early enough before the Wyvern can get space to do his work, and I'm still very concerned about the Wisp as well as the Tiny. And their ability to actually attack. Yeah, the puck would have been a really nice one. You mentioned that HR loved playing that. That would have been their jumping control factor. If they ran off-lane Prophet, of course, that's what that would require to have happen.
I think it's going to be an off-lane Nature's Prophet, though.
It looks that way.
They want to leave, at least because Stark have the first pick, they want to leave it open-ended whether the Ember Spirit goes mid or carry.
5 seconds remaining.
Do that, like... So I would actually almost be fine with the Ember Spirit running mid, because it should be a Wisp Tiny in the mid, right?
It might not be, it's hard to say.
Dire team pick.
It's definitely an Ember mid now. With that pick up the Gyrocopter, like, there is no one anymore that plays the Gyrocopter as a mid one. As a mid roll.
Well,
it's Ember mid with the Witch Doctor or Dazzle, and then Gyrocopter plus either Witch Doctor or Dazzle on the bottom lane, and they should pop it off.
Ember should do okay, surprisingly okay against IO Tiny, especially if he goes for the poor man start. It's gonna tank him up quite a bit. The IO's harass isn't gonna hurt as much, and he always has that Flame Guard, which is gonna probably get cancelled almost instantly, but it's gonna prevent him from taking a lot of damage when Tiny decides to go for a combo. I think Stark want to get something, a more source of control, because both Ember Spirit and Nature's Prophet, not really BKB heroes, and they do have the Winter Wyvern and Beastmaster for control, but having more doesn't hurt, especially because they have damage. It's not like anyone on HellRaisers is that tanky. They do have the Dazzle and the Sustain from Witch Doctor, but they're capable of running down HellRaisers if, they can control them.
Who can go against, like, who can make sure they can zone out the Prophet as a core. The Wyvern can do a pretty damn good job at that, but if he has a little bit of extra help... Hey... The Weaver actually would have been really, really nice in this situation for them. Would have been someone who would have been more than aggressive enough to zone out the Prophet. And they actually go for a safe lane Invoker pickup.
Is it though?
May not be. They're gonna run Invoker versus the Ember mid, then the Tiny Wisp on top against Nature's Prophet.
Okay, because Invoker might play Wex Invoker and get the early Tornado to counter the Ember Spirit Flame Guard.
Have you seen that many Quexes Invokers? Because, like, on almost every single game I've got, there'll be one early point up in Wex, but purely to get go. And then everything else is just Exort. Boss Exort.
And Alacrity. Okay, he went for the Exort and he's gonna scout it out.
Prepare
But
for
Invokers
battle.
nowadays, they're just, it became standard to get 1 point in each of the Quas Wex Exort. And we still don't know. Well, it might still be the Wex Invort, especially because the Orchid is so nice against the Ember Spirit.
I'm loving the effigy of Nemphy. I haven't done an effigy tonight, but is that VS? I assume it looks like a VS. Also, like, question mark.
Yeah, looks like a VS. Weird skin though.
Because there's no staff, which makes it like not the
30
Crystal Maiden. Then
seconds to battle.
there's no dagger, so it's not the Queen of Pain. Yeah, it's gonna be a Vengeful Spirit. It's just the way the back end works. It looks like she's got wings.
I thought it might be Alina at first, because with...
Well, it could be.
Yeah.
That actually, yes, you're right. That breastplate is the leanest.
Okay, and when you click on it, it has like the fiery shit on the background, so...
The battle
don't have that.
begins.
Oh, really? Okay, it might be video settings, but... no rune shenanigans at level 1.
And Ember and Invoker grab him.
Yeah,
That
Valak's
was
already...
pretty bloody obvious when he placed it down there. That's a very defensive obs, Trixie. I would have thought he would try and get it like closer in the lane.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he watches the ancient area instead.
Valak's already blocked the camp to the Radiant Ancients area, where Satchelo might go back for some EXP. I'm not sure if this is really that necessary for Satchelo, because the way Nature's Prophet works, he's already trying to drag these creeps. What?
Yeah, you're right.
He did.
It seems like a necessary ward. Damn. I've already got the usage of Happy Trees. God damn, it's dropping very low, but Afo up in the
Nemphy?
face of Nemphy. One more attack, Afro can't stay close enough, the Fairy Fire will be expended. It was only the Flame Guard from Afro that was doing most of the work then, and goddamn didn't have a heal to lend him. He went for the Poison Touch level 1. So almost every consumable in this mid lane has now been expended.
Back to square one with all that Salve usage. Boogie, is he in trouble? No, you got that tether.
It's kind of hard for a Wisp to get out of position.
Yeah, but I mean, Wisp having 0 armor and he was surrounded by Radiant creeps.
Goddamn's actually in here. Paul slowed him down enough. He doesn't have boots, so goddamn can't win on movement speed. Trixie doesn't have another ball for a while, and now, actually can turn the Poison Touch. Yellow Warrior was hoping that the ball was still going to remain close enough to Trixie that the Paralyzing Cask would bounce, but it wasn't the case.
Space. Oh, Trixie? He's gonna be a man.
He doesn't have axes though. If he had axes, then maybe he could be more of a man. A Yellow Warrior, the Sunstrike. Goddamn's going to avoid it. Varx is coming in, his Arctic Burn is on cooldown. But everyone's just been so low. Just having these almost like man fights, but running away at the last moment.
Yeah, this is like a crazy level of aggression. All for this bottom rune, I think. That was like what this led up to. Trixie didn't want to back out because he wanted to secure the bottom rune. And because he could, basically, because the Dazzle, poor stats, when Poison Touch is not going to have the sustain. And
Nemphy is such a lucky duck. Afo's Searing Chains didn't latch on him. They actually had a chance for it. The Sunstrike's going to miss goddamn again. Afo, he looked really good for it. The problem was he was just a little bit too far away.
Yeah, he could have walked a bit more and isolated that Invoker so that it would have proc to 100%. But Afro Ninja is gonna feel pretty good about this. He made the Invoker walk all the way back home, and Nemphy hasn't been so lucky with the Sunstrikes. He missed all 3 so far.
Point. Nope, 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 nope.
Light.
But he was also having random guesses with all 3. Because the wards were so defensive, he didn't have like the perfect vision for 2 of them at least.
And as playing Invoker in pubs somewhat, it's annoying when your team keeps calling for a Sunstrike, but it's like those situations where you have to look at the screen for so long, then you kind of can't pay full attention to your lane, and FP doesn't have like the best CS right now. I mean, given that the Dazzle did help Afro Ninja quite a bit, 3 Sunstrikes at 3-minute mark means he had to watch other places for almost half the duration probably.
Just get stripped for it. The highest one on the CS board, especially for deniers. Undershock's kept this bottom lane nicely controlled. Beastmaster's only got 2.5 levels compared to the 4 and almost a half levels for Nature's Prophet. This is also around that time that I wonder where like how the impact of Zhashlo is going to affect this game. Like a rotation's coming in from Goddamn at the moment. He picked up a haste rune. It's a level 2 Dazzle, so you're not going to write home about like his effect in this game. But if he can get a point-blank range run up, nah, he's going to tether away to the creep wave. But it pushes ML Whisper as well as Boogie back. That poison touch.
Oh my god!
Down to 8
oh,
HP.
so close.
And Beastmaster will deny himself as well to Roshan.
I think the plan was for the Treants to move close, and he goddamn would have nuked, double nuked him with the Shadow Wave onto the Treants and the Poison Touch. Would have killed. Oh, Afro Ninja barely survived this attempt by Nemphy and Alex.
I just turned a bottom lane 2 at that time, so I don't know how he dropped that low, but...
We're at bottom, Trixie. Should be okay.
He's just trying to keep his distance, but Nature's Prophet, you're starting to see that TP coming in from Zhashlo. And this is that exact moment where you realize just how good the bloody Nature's Prophet is. Summon a bunch of Treants, he doesn't even need to be here to make this work. But it's going to force a rotation out from Stark. Because HR can just attacking into the tier 2 tower now. That's a level 3 army of Treants. They can just beat through the tower, you then use Flag Cannon to mop up the creep wave, even if it is only level 1.
Yeah, Trixie's gonna get some good levels though, and I'm not sure if HR can get this tier 2. Tier 2 is a different beast from the tier 1. You can't really surround and flank the side of Stark.
But is the objective really just taking the tier 2 tower or forcing movement from Stark?
I mean, even if Alex didn't come, I think the tier 2 push would have taken too long for it to be worth it. Gyro is still level 5. Yeah, he's almost level 6, but the early tier 1 is nice, but the trouble you have to go to get a tier 2 is almost not worth it.
First coming to the top lane now. He's got
Yeah,
Spirit Survival, the Shasha does his TP. Boogie's in the neighborhood, and in fact, the summoning of the Treants will scout that out. But Boogie, he may not have a choice. He may have to just tether to try and keep Whisperer alive. There's no relocate save, but First Blood's already been spilled, and Boogie ends up sacrificing himself as well.
That healing wave, man. That's just one of those sick combos, like the Broodmother Dazzle, for instance.
Force me into retirement, will they?
Goodbye, Trixie on the bottom lane. He ran away from the call down, but Witch Doctor was there waiting for him. Now double TPs up to the top lane. Tiny and the Wisp coming back again to defend. HellRaisers just looks so damn good in this game.
So much action. I thought the first blood happened kind of late, but
they're going again. Ashlow TP's in, takes out the Hawk. But they even make sure that Boar can't escape out of here. Undershock, he's holding on to his flag cannon for now. He's got cooldown off cooldown in 5 seconds time. If they need to, they can commit the cooldown to ensure the last hits on the tower.
I think they already did this much damage. They don't want to let it get denied, and
It's in deny range.
Undershock might even use call down to
Yeah, just zone him.
get rid of these.
That's all he would have to do, but damn, fortification. Stark. Timing,
Oh,
too
they...
early from Varlix.
Dire's bottom tower
A little
has
too
fallen.
early. That's what I was talking about with Nature's Prof. Like, it seems so weird, but now he's hit level 6. You got Phase Boots 8 minutes in. There's an offlaner.
Oh, Beastmaster Roar into Sunstrike. Nice combo.
Realize
like-
when did Trixie hit level 6? Thought he was shut down a lot more on that lane.
Well, thanks to HR trying to force the tower, that was a trade-off. You get the tower, but you can't deny the EXP as well. And it's Undershock's going to be more aware of what Beastmaster is capable of. The first time is usually like you're not always fully aware of what the other team's capable of. But now that he died to it once, he's going to be more mindful of the Sunstrike combo and Nymphy.
Spirit jumps. It was the Invis rune from Yola Warrior. Helps him
Oh,
out, but
so close.
Ghost Walk to TP out. The Flame Guard wasn't enough of a burn to kill him off. But at the same time, now your Invoker had to TP back to base. Can't really assist the mid, but Nature's Prophet's also not here.
Nature's Prophet TPing in would have been kind of cool. Nature's Prophet did have that sentry from early on at level 1. He didn't really need to use it. And the Wrath of Nature didn't really connect with... he didn't even use it, but kind of a miskill. I think they thought for sure that they were going to have it.
It's been drawn up on the top lane. That's actually from Stark saying, can we please push this tower? Another big question for us to probably start asking is, what happens here with ML Whisper? Like, is it worthwhile completing the drums, or is it better to get into that Aghanim Scepter cleave, so when these big armies of HR, like, I'm just thinking Treants, moves at you, you got a quick way to clean it up. Let Boogie be your attack speed.
I think Blink Dagger can pay off huge this game, considering how squishy HR is, and the element of surprise will basically kill people before Dazzle can react to Shallow Grave, and you can combo it nicely with the Sunstrike.
I don't know if this pull is exactly what Stark really wanted to do at this point. Pre-wave has now reached the tower. There's an army of Treants here in HR. Like, the weave goes, so say goodbye to your armor for Boogie and Whisper, and they just have to relocate save out. This guarantees the top tower is gone, and pretty much effectively kills off Boogie too when he comes back. Like, he might get lucky and be able to TP out from inside the trees, and
Poor Boogie.
there's
Oh, we can TP out now.
Vision's gone, there's no stun.
No!
Oh, wow!
What?
Whoops!
They just let him go.
Radiant's bottom tower
Always hold on to your stuns.
They could have even some of the Treants to get the vision for the Death Ward to work, but
Regeneration.
yep, that's a bit of a balls up, but they still took out the tower. Afro is now battling up against Nymphy. Damn, that's a lot of burn damage. Sunstrike's coming in, but just a quick spirit
no
away.
swap.
tower is under attack.
But this keeps Stark like looking elsewhere. Like that tier 2 tower is still dead on the top lane. Because he's trying to get the trade off on the bottom lane. With the Hawk behind the tier 1 tower, he knows he's not going to get ganked.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top
Yeah,
tower
it's a tier 2 and a tier 1 for a tier 1 tower.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Nymphy.
Okay,
Not
maybe
this
there's the
time, bro.
Invoker as well.
Not your best
Dire's
effort.
middle tower. is
Now,
under
not a
attack.
great trade for Stark.
Oh, they're pinging They're pinging Trixie. Maybe Nature's Prophet might TP in, probably not though. Trixie does have the ult up.
Usurper what's there though? Is there Wrath of Nature? No.
I feel like HR are getting so much more out of these like so-called
Dire's
trades,
middle tower
which
is
aren't
under
really
attack.
trades. They got a tier 2 for a tier 1.
Dire's
They
middle
killed
tower
Nymphy.
has
They get
fallen.
a tier 1 on top of it, and they're gonna get so much map control.
We're actually at the point now where HellRaisers are 5 minutes ahead of their game 1 schedule. We're out of towers. Echo 12 minutes in, you've only got one tier 2 remaining for Stark.
I know when
Dire's
someone
middle
like tunes
tower
in
is
and
under
looks
attack.
at the map, they might assume it's like 30 minutes in or something, but only 12 minutes in, and earlier I was saying that I thought the first blood happened so late, but I checked the timer and it was like only 6 minutes, but it felt like it was 10 minutes in.
There were so many skirmishes across the map, which didn't result in kills. Like that battle, which lasted for almost a minute on the bottom lane. It's those kind of things. It's like, okay, well, landmark-wise in my head, there's a lot more stuff that ended up happening in the game.
Mm-hmm.
At least now you get that blink dagger over on the tiny. Nemphy, however,
Nemphy?
is going to have a bit of a hard time up on top. As if Afo's going to initiate, Wrath of Nature bounces through. They actually lock him inside the sprout. They bring the detection. They got the sentry ward over on Shashlo, but with the relocate in, there's going to be Stark having the chance to get that return kill, which Dr. dies as well in the meantime, back in the mid lane. And Stark gets some really nice
Radiant's
picks.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, there's that Wisp combo. I think it was the first time it was used to fight instead of save Tiny. Now HR are gonna they're gonna have to respect that Wisp factor. They can't just mindlessly go for Nemphy every time they see him.
Now Stark,
They have really good wards though. Yeah.
It's that moment when I asked the question again, like, okay, we had our Roche moment in game 1. Now I'm kind of wondering if we kind of had that moment up on top lane where, like, Tiny Wisp were allowed to escape, including the Tiny the Wisp as he left. It's a small little thing, but it's... I guess like you're just not keeping
Trixie.
your entire control. Yeah, Trixie's out way too far. That Observer Ward sees this. Necro Books will be summoned. There's already the relocate on its way, bringing in Whisper. Goddamn's in the neighborhood, but now Paralyzing Cast's going to bounce down into the Avalanche. Not able to reach him. Whisper will die. And while that relocate, 2 seconds, 1 second, Trixie gets saved by that. The curse was dropped as well to buy a little bit of space. Shasha almost killing himself in the back of the Necro unit.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So Tiny will end up going down. But Nemphy's now looking for his trade-off. Bottom tier 2 tower being attacked. Afo, nice side of fist steering chain, kills off Boogie. TP's away. Oh, Nemphy! Barely getting out in time.
Under attack.
Trixie's about to die. It's the... Wait, who sent us that?
Dire's top
Oh, the
tower is
Gyro
under
Undershock.
Yeah, it's the Veil of... Not the Veil, the Hood of Defiance, what do I even say?
Oh, TP in.
Oh, my dominator. Good creep. Afo uses it to get in. The Witch Doctor still ended up dying to the Tiny, so... It's a semi-trade-off. But you're delaying the Necro Book level 2 on the Beastmaster, which is still worth it.
Yeah, for sure. You trade your Witch Doctor for a Beastmaster. Especially the Beastmaster who's supposed to not have a Necro 3 by now, but, you know, I mean, he's doing pretty well, Trixie. He has a Necro 1, and he had a lot of gold before he died. So, delaying that as much as possible is going to be very important for Trixie. That means they don't have to buy a gem. I mean, it acts as like a semi-gem for when they need to clear the jungle and such. HR not gonna really take off the pressure, just keep going. The final outer tower.
They've still got the power in this. Call down buys more space, the weave's over on the Stark heroes, so they don't want to go into fight, because they just don't have the armor to do so.
I think Stark
is also, like, I hear it bouncing around. Yeah, connects over on Trixie and Afro, jumps forward, side of fist, gets a Syrian chains over on Marlix. Undershock wants to come in for that rocket barrage. The cold embrace will protect Wyvern for now, but there was still a lot of magical damage, and goddamn was waiting to drop that heal bomb on him. Kill off the Wyvern. And they're forcing the issue in further. Trixie does not have his Necro units. However, there is also no cooldown. The Wyvern will use his buyback. Blink Dagger from the Invoker may get Nemphy into a good spot, but right now all he's got is Meteorite. He doesn't actually have his Invoke available, so they've burnt through the tier 3 tower. And HR, how confident do you feel? What a perfect hit. Wyvern is actually there to get that curse off, but the relocate in, Boogie and Whisper, they're losing so much life. The Meteorite will drop, but you haven't killed off either of the 3 cores of HellRaisers. You've lost your Tiny, and now the pressure can keep mounting. A new army of Treants can be created, and they will take out this mid-melee.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
17 minutes racks. With this lineup, it's not even a push lineup. It's just a solid early mid game oriented lineup. You'd expect them to take map control, but a racks at 17 minutes. Initially after the tier 2, actually during the tier 2, when Undershock used that call down in front of the tier 3 at mid, I thought Stark might fight into that because they're gonna call out that Gyro doesn't have the ult, but. I don't know. It's like the Wisp Tiny wanted to push more, and the rest of the team sort of like wandered in front of HellRaisers, expecting some kind of bait to happen, but it ended up just being feeds, and Winter Wyvern had to buy back, and just a disaster for Stark.
That Wisp Tiny did relocate in. They got perfectly controlled.
Mm-hmm.
Boogie's about to die. Apo. Oh no, mistimed it. He meant to slide a fist steering chain, but he ended up chaining first. That observer ward up next to the secret shop was meant to work there for HR. Doesn't, but they go up at Roshan anyway. So observers and sentries everywhere. Looks like a little too many wards placed up on top of that Roshan hill.
Yeah.
That happens.
So big moment or just a free Rosh? Looks like a free Rosh.
They're not going to get there in time. Sunstrike's on the
That was pretty close.
So yeah. I'll take the Bracer. War Spirit. Yeah, what are you going to drop? Does anyone have anything to drop?
Bracer?
Witch Doctor could have taken it. He's got 2 slots. Looks like they're sending the courier out instead. The courier is also... Oh no, that's the reason why he doesn't. Look what's coming in on the courier. There's 2 braces for the Witch Doctor. But interesting enough, there's a Fairy Fire on that
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He doesn't have an item slot to hold on to that. Oh, now he does. He drops the TP scroll for it. Leaves it just back behind him. So they're going to go in. They're going to go for a second lane of frags here. HellRaisers forcing the issue. They get through the Forge Spirits at least.
Do they have any reliable ways to nuke this other than the Winter Wyvern? Because I feel like the Dazzle is doing so much work when they go for these high ground scenarios. Dazzle is sustaining the creeps as well as the heroes.
The only real nuke you got is, when Sunstrike hits an Undershock like that, you're going to feel a little bit more confident. I'm waiting for the Wisp Tiny to come back as the Avalanche Toss combo, which we just have not seen.
Tiny doesn't have Ags or the attack speed. The counter push the speed is so pitiful right now.
Yep.
And HR are aware of this, that they're not...
If you use this, Toss has got nothing to do.
Oh, Valix
just gets destroyed by the cooldown. Pretty good call to embrace himself up. They're letting it go. TPs are coming back. Nymphy goes for the Tornado, a very short range one with a deafening blast. Where is this Wisp relocate arriving? It is a little bit further back with the Avalanche Toss. They catch Goddamn as well as kill the Warrior, but the damage output is too low. I think this is game. It is. It's an ultra kill for Undershock and a GG. The game times don't even accumulate to 40 minutes. And Stark are out of ESL 1.
Oh, HellRaisers, the team that wasn't even in this tournament and at the beginning, just comes in and clean sweeps against Stark.
What a performance from them. This actually makes an all-Russian quarterfinal on that front. It's going to be HellRaisers going up against Team Empire. And, man, I'd actually back it, considering HellRaisers, no Team Empire.